Hi family, Dr. Hooten here at Hooten Family Healing Center in Dallas, Texas. If you're under care in our office, this video is all about normalizing your weight. Now most of the time that does mean, you know what I'm talking about, if you need to lose weight, but some people need to put weight on. I'm going to go through the rules on how to normalize your body, get your metabolism going right. There's three main things I'm going to cover in this video. The first one has to do with your mindset. The third one has to do with food. The second one is the sneaky one. Actually, number 1 and 2 are pretty sneaky, or mindset. But the second one is so overlooked. It's probably the greatest thing that people miss when it comes to getting their body functioning, and that is the health of their nervous system. You can't process food or anything without your brain and your body connected. So when it comes to mindset, if you need to lose weight, you've probably been down that road. Hey, I've tried a diet, I've tried this and that, I've looked online, I've talked to this person, I've talked to that person, and maybe even know some of the rules. You know, avoid fast food. That's a common sense one. I mean, there is no such thing as good fast food. I don't care if it's a Christian company or not Christian company. It doesn't matter. Fast food is fast food. It is highly refined, full of carbs, full of terrible fats for you. It will make you sick. Now, also in this video, maybe you haven't put on weight, but you know you need to eat better, that your lifestyle needs a shift, then pay attention. Because if you don't get your body right, and I'm just speaking purely from the data, if you don't get your body going in a right direction, you are asking for Alzheimer's, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, arthritis. You're asking for it at some point. And that's how I personally motivate myself. Now, motivation is a temporary thing, all right, but I need to scare myself regularly. I watched my grandmother go through Alzheimer's. I watched it. I know what she did for her lifestyle. I know where she messed up, and we can't go and change that now, but I use that as fear. I don't want to get that. I watched her have strokes, right? I've watched members of my family have degenerative disease and fall apart, right? So that's a fear motivation, but those things are sort of temporary. You have to figure out really why, a really deep why, and it comes down to this. I've got this awesome kid. I've got this great place that we would call work, I guess, but we come here and we see all of you wonderful people watching all these healing testimonies. I don't want to lose all this. I don't want to put my wife in a position where she has to be wiping my butt, where I'm going to be sitting in a chair one day peeing, all over myself because of something I did, right? I don't want to be responsible for that. So that's my big why. And I want to avoid that with every ounce of my body. So I'm constantly looking at that. I have it written down. I want to be fit when I'm 100. I want to be able to play tennis and soccer with my kid when I'm 100 years old. I want to be traveling. I want to be doing all these things when I'm 100. I don't want to be scared of getting to 100 years old. So you have to find your big why. Maybe it's a pleasure thing, right? So I just know me. I use fear. I don't want to get those diseases. Maybe you want to look a certain way. Maybe you could use both. You could use fear and pleasure. You want to look a certain way. You want to be more attractive to your husband or wife. Whatever the case is, find that pleasure, and then how bad do you want that? So find your big why, and then write it down. Write it down. Put it where you can see it. I've got on my computers, on my phone, I've got, on Google Drive, I've got this document. I pull it up every day, and I look at my goals, I look at my big reasons why I'm doing them, and I focus on that. And I know, I'll be the first one to tell you, if I don't do that, which I've done before, right? If I don't do that, I start to slide. I will have, I'll have more junk food than normal. Whether it's, pizza, and I don't care if you call it healthy pizza or not. Pizza is shouldn't be a main staple of your diet. So, in fact, here recently, it's in summertime, so I slipped a little bit, but now we're getting back on it. So you get the picture. Find your big why, write it down, look at it every day, pray on it, think about it, imagine it, what's your life going to be like 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, and then get after it. Okay. Number 2, just as important and sneaky as your mindset is the health of your spine. Now, this is where I come into play. I mean, you're going to have to, no matter what anybody's told you, if you want your brain and your body connected, if you want your brain connected to your liver, your intestines, your gallbladder, all the parts of your metabolism, your hormones, your thyroid, if you want your thyroid to work, right, and convert T3 and T4, or thyroxine into T3 and T4, if you want all that to work right, your brain has to be communicating to it. Period. There's no way around that. You could eat perfectly, exercise perfectly, or whatever, but if your brain is not flowing through here to the rest of your body, there is no way, it is impossible for you to be 100% efficient. I've seen this so many times. People come in, start getting adjusted, don't change anything else, and they'll start to lose a little bit of weight. Right? Doc, is it possible for me just to lose weight by just getting adjusted? I said, absolutely. All right, now, my job is to get this flowing. My job isn't to take the weight off. That's your job, right? But if you want to do that properly, you got to get this working. So if you're under care in the office, make sure you're getting into a daily routine with your exercises, because you want to keep this thing flowing. Every morning, without fail, I get up and I do my wobble exercises. I've got this little setup out in the garage. I'll do that 30, 40, 50, sometimes 100 times. And then I will do these stretches. Some of you know this stretch. I go through this whole routine, and then I do a little stretch on my neck, keep that curve solid. I come into the office, I get adjusted. I have the wonderful Dr. Angela here. She's awesome. Dr. Travis is here. You get the picture. Take care of your spine every single day. Number 3, and this is the big one, and try not to hit the computer or throw the phone. Remember, you want to think of why you've got to do this. The rules for food, I want to keep it very simple. 2 categories, okay? Good and bad. Now you know carbs, proteins, and fats, right? Good, or there's good carbs, proteins, and fats. There's bad carbs, protein, and fats. Let's just keep it really simple. Good carbohydrates include vegetables, all the green ones especially. Good proteins, now pay attention to this, is if you eat animal protein from grass-fed cows, from completely free-range chickens, eggs from chickens that have only lived out in pastures. An example of a bad carb would be a donut, a cake, all those things. A bad protein would be a conventional meat. So if you like to eat steak, but that steak is not grass-fed, it's not 100% grass-fed, if you just get like a filet from any restaurant that doesn't specifically say this meat is 100% grass-fed, that protein and the fat that's in that will go straight into your system, create inflammation everywhere. It will take your body about 90 days to handle the damage from a conventional raised animal. And I can go through the science behind that. You just need to take my word for it. If you eat a French fry, that's not just a bad carb, that's also a bad fat, and you have just ingested the worst in my book, the worst possible thing you can eat is a fried bad carbohydrate. It's fried in vegetable oil, and it's highly toxic. It oxidizes easily. It'll stick to your arteries. The carbohydrate will spike your blood sugar, which raises your insulin, inflammation everywhere. It makes it very hard to lose weight. Learn what good and bad is. All right, stick to the good carbs, stick to the good proteins, and stick to the good fats. Now, what's a good fat? My favorite is avocado. If you can handle avocados, I will tell you to eat 1 or 2 of those a day. All right, guacamole, great. Just don't put a whole lot of Velveeta melted cheese in there. You know what I mean? That'll ruin it. That'll make it a bad fat. So avocados, coconut oil, obviously, seeds and nuts. I had some pumpkin seeds earlier as a snack. All those things are really good fats. Your brain is mostly fat, or has a lot of fat in it. Fat's a huge nutrient for your brain and for the rest of your nervous system for that matter. So you want to ingest these things. Good carbs, good protein, good fats. That's where you want to live. Eliminate bad carbs, bad proteins, bad fats. We have handouts up front for you. We have books. We have a book that our Max Living crew wrote. We have another book from a wonderful patient here, Miss Lily. If you've met her, she's a real treat. She came out of a serious healthcare crisis and wrote this great book. They both match up. They both tell you the same thing. There's recipes and everything. And I want to finish with this. I watched my family turn their health around. I was watching them fall apart. I was watching my dad fall apart in his 50s. I was watching them start to hurt and put weight on. I was watching them take diabetes and blood pressure medicine. And I saw the future. I saw them, becoming just like my grandmother when she had Alzheimer's and just no hope. And we changed everything. My health changed when we started this. Get your mindset right. Take care of your spine. Learn the rules about proper food. And if your family is resistant on this, I promise you, they will start following. You have to out-stubborn them. You have to out-stubborn them. Nobody else is going to do it. If you don't do it, who's going to do it? Our health is our responsibility. We love you guys. We're here for you. If you have any questions about anything, reach out to the team, and we will bend over backwards, pun intended, to help you. Remember, drugs are bad, God is great, and so are you.